All right, man. Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. I appreciate you for tuning in. Leave us a quick take on the voicemail line, 219-413-9405, if you just want to join anything that on the conversation we're having. So we got some news for the run. To start off with the MLB, the World Series, obviously, as you know, the Dodgers will be playing the Blue Jays, Toronto versus LA, Drake versus Kendrick. We get another rematch, I guess, even though it was an obvious winner in LA. So hoping that the Blue Jays win this ball game here in the two. But the game one of this World Series starts tomorrow. So excited for this matchup to get started. And I'm going for the Blue Jays to win it this time, though, man. I'm tired of seeing the Dodgers win. We got the Yankees up out of there. The Yankees lose. And then we just got to get the Dodgers up out of here. We got to get the Dodgers gone, man. So I'm ready to see the Blue Jays secure this World Series, please. Other than that, look, man, we got some NBA news as well because the NBA started up, and man, the NBA has hit strong early on, literally day 2 of the NBA. We already got some crazy news. We got some crazy scores, things like that. So day 2 of the NBA, this news comes out. The FBI arrested Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier and Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups as part of a federal probe into illegal gambling. Crazy. Now, to clarify, Chauncey Billups' arrest with the FBI is not basketball related. They said it's reportedly due to his involvement in an illegal poker operation tied to the mafia. How crazy is this? This is literally day 2 of the NBA. It's almost like the FBI was just holding on to this information, waiting until these games was played to say, here, take this in, but boom, making news now. Boom, here we go. Boom, publish it now. NBA's rolling strong. Oh, Wemby put up 40. Boom. Billups, mafia, gambling, illegal. Like, this is crazy. So this is the main thing. Terry Rozier might be done. Also, there's some more ongoing investigations within team issues with gambling. So apparently Lakers have been called out with gambling schemes. The Toronto Raptors have been called out with gambling schemes. So there are more and more teams that's just coming out or getting exposed, I should say, with illegal gambling probe operations or just all kind of things that's happening with illegal gambling. So only day 2, but I'm sure there'll be more and more information to go along as the NBA season goes on. So it's a very, very wild start to the NBA in terms of crime, in terms of scoring and all kind of things. All right, so let's give you some of the games that happened. So I'm not going to go all the way back to opening night. I'm not even going to go to all of the games in the NBA. I'm going to just put some standout performances and some standout games that happened. So Wemby, oh my gosh, Victor Wembanyama, this man is an alien. I think this is something we already knew, but Spurs played the Dallas Mavericks. They beat the Mavericks 125-92, and Wembanyama had 40, 15 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Wembanyama looked like an absolute freak out here. And not just because he's 7'5", but because I'm watching him do step back jumpers. I'm watching Wemby tween, bounce back behind the legs, step back, pull up, cash. I'm watching him post fade over 2 defenders, cash. I'm watching him power dribble, side step, shoot, cash from the 3, from the mid range. Watching him go to the rim and dunk on people. I feel like watching Wemby today is probably how people felt watching Wilt Chamberlain in the 60s. This is insane. I've never seen a player like this. I thought I seen it. I know I ain't seen it all, but I thought this is just, it's crazy, man. All I can say is go watch Victor Wembanyama in the Spurs. Just go watch the Spurs. Because this dude is crazy. It's crazy. It's insane of what he did. All right, so that wasn't the only standout performance. Obviously, there was a couple other great games. Anthony Edwards hit a game winner against the Trailblazers. The Wolves won 118-114. Anthony Edwards finished with 41.7 rebounds, and I thought he had it was clutch shots at the end of the game that gave the Wolves the win. And I mean, it's only one game, so you can't really make any crazy assumptions. But hey, he looked good out there. Also, Jeremy Grant with the Portland Trailblazers had 29 points, and I think that's tough to consider as well because they got a young, solid core over there with the Trailblazers, so maybe they make something happen. Also, too, And a standout performance, the 76ers beat the Boston Celtics 117-116, and Tyrese Maxey had 40 points, which was crazy. Really good performance there from the Celtics and the 76ers in that game. Also, Bulls, they held it down, man. They beat my Pistons 115-111. They were up by a large margin at one point, but Pistons ended up coming back. And then a stat here for the Pistons, man. Yeah, it wasn't really as much of Cade or what everybody else was doing, but I think the most impressive thing for me with this Pistons team, at least looking at the stat sheet, was that Isaiah Stewart had 20 points and 10 rebounds in this matchup against the Chicago Bulls. So that says a lot about what he was able to do, and really just his impact on the floor. I know we missed him in the playoffs, but that's a huge impact there. Knicks, they ended up beating the Cavaliers 119-111. You had the Hornets, they beat the Nets 136-117. Magic, they beat the Heat 125-121. And then the Bucks, they also beat the Wizards, which was pretty obvious, 133-120. But this game was important because Giannis almost had a 40-piece. He threw up 37 points and had 14 rebounds. So definitely a crazy start to week one in the NBA. And I'm just shocked. But the takeaway of it all is go watch Victor Wembanyama with the San Antonio Spurs. That's all. That's the takeaway from this week one is go watch Victor, because crazy performance from him. Crazy. All right. Anyway, look, so we got some NFL news as well. Just kind of want to recap all the games that's going to be happening today, or not today, but this next week or upcoming week in week 8. So to kick off today, Thursday, you have the Minnesota Vikings playing the LA Chargers. This is going to be happening in Inglewood at SoFi Stadium. So pretty good game here. I'm anticipating, usually the Thursday night games have been bangers. So hopefully we continue on that trend. The Dolphins will take on the Atlanta Falcons. Listen to the previous breakdown I had of this if you haven't been listening to the full episode. Go back. The New York Jets will be playing the Bengals. Not really anticipating a good game here. Yeah, whatever. Patriots and Browns. I got the Patriots winning that game, even though the Browns finally got in the right column, winning last week. Eagles and Giants. I'll touch on that in a second. Bills versus the Panthers. Got the Bills winning that, but the Panthers have been rolling. They're back in the positive side of the win column, so you can't really count them out, and they are also 3-0 at home. So you got to consider what the Panthers is doing, and as I've said before, Bryce Young has kind of been on a heater as soon as he throws that first interception. Once it's over with, then he starts balling out. So I wouldn't sleep on this Panthers team. Falcons did beat the Bills, and a lot of people counted the Falcons out, even though the Falcons did play good. But I wouldn't put it past the Panthers to actually go and beat the Bills too. So I would be surprised, and I think I'm going to go with the upset of Panthers actually beating the Bills in this matchup, considering Panthers are 3-0 at home, and hey, they take care of business so far. So you got the Bears playing the Ravens in Baltimore, 49ers and the Texans. You have the Buccaneers and the Saints. Cowboys will be playing the Denver Broncos. I'm excited for that matchup as well. The Colts will be playing the Titans. Definitely keep an eye out for the Colts. Packers will take on the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And then for Monday Night Football, no doubleheader. Finally, we just got the Commanders playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and no Jaden Daniels will be active in this matchup. But the matchup I'm super excited about here is this matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Man, I'm anticipating a great matchup here.